I'd like to start by saying what we saw Saturday is totally unacceptable. We expected more. Our fans deserve more, and we're going to find a way to give them that. You know, go back on last week's practice, really felt like the preparation was as good as we had. We get into the game, and I didn't do enough to help them early with the adjustments, but I take ownership, and I told the kids yesterday, this is my defense right now. And until it gets to the standard that we're looking for, it's going to continue to be my defense. And we're certainly going to work our butts off to reach that standard. And, you know, we got some improving to do. We've made some improvement in areas. We've been inconsistent in areas, and that's what we got to do. We got to be consistent, and that's my job to make sure that happens. Questions?
Start in the back with KO.
Is any of this a matter of they're still learning what it is they're trying to do in the defense?
I don't think it's a matter of learning. It's a matter of all 11 guys working together. You know, we're a big spill defense, and you got to have, when you spill, you got to have someone to catch, and those are terms that we use. And you know, we were off on that just a little bit, but we're better in situations than we had been. And you know, we're letting plays get away from us that shouldn't, and that's been a thing that has continued, and that's a thing that really. I'm not going to get frustrated, but it's a thing that we got to get fixed, and it's got to be a sense of urgency. And certainly our guys want to play well; they want to do well, you know. But no, I don't think it's a matter of learning the defenses. I think we've been there. I think it's a matter of reacting to them in very short time periods. You know, offenses are going fast. You don't have much time to think. We got to be able to react quicker.
Over on the left side.
Coach, how close do you think they are to where you want them to be?
Well, again, you know, you've heard me say this 4 or 5 different weeks, okay? You don't get plays back. You don't get plays back. You know, we play, even in this game, we played 80% of the plays really well, you know, but you can't play 80% of the plays really well. You give up 300 yards rushing, and you know, I can't say we're close. But let me tell you this, we got athletes, and certainly we're going to continue to build on what we got. We got athletes that are working hard. There's no complaint about that. We just got to be more consistent. We got to be more consistent, and we got to be able to do it for an entire game. The thing that was disappointing, the biggest disappointment was the first 2 drives. And, you know, we're giving up too many opportunities to get stops early in the ball games, and we got to do a better job of that. That's just, you know, that's disappointing, and again, that's on me. I've got to do a better job of preparation. If you look at it and say, well, you know, Coach, how do you think you were really prepared? Well, going into the game, I thought we were, but as we played the game, it was evident that I had not done my job well enough, and that's what I got to do.
Right up front, Brent.
It's a simple question, but I don't think there's a simple answer in terms of what do you do at linebacker, especially in the short term. You know, over the years, obviously, you recruit to that position, but what do you do now? Well,
you know what? I'm going to shock you just a little bit, okay? We actually made some improvement there in this last game. And you take without calling a name, you take a guy that's really had been playing at around 45%, and he's up to 65%. But 65% gets you beat, okay? So we got to keep growing. We've made some improvement there. We got guys that are playing and understanding the position a little bit better. Richard Moore, getting him out and getting him some work has been a plus for us. He's a guy that every time he's on the field, he's making plays, and he's a guy that needs to get more involved in our defense.
Right side, Gabe.
Coach, I noticed Josh Walker's been playing about a quarter's worth of football. I mean, how injured is he? Or I know you can't talk about that too much, but how do you use him moving forward? Is he starting to progress a guy where you can use him more than about a quarter?
Well, you know, because of certain situations, we've been forced to ask guys to be able to play 2 different positions, and that's not good with the new scheme. But we've had to do that. That's just where we are. You know, Josh is a guy that's talented enough, smart enough, that his role should be growing and growing.
Go to the back, Darryl.
Coach, you realistically could throw a shutout against Western Carolina possibly, but does that tell you anything about your team? I mean, what do you want to see from them that's going to say, okay, we played better?
Well, the same thing I just mentioned, well, we hadn't played well, is execution. That we go out and execute the calls. We communicate the calls on the field, and we got 11 guys that are executing the same defense. And, you know, that's where we need to grow. That's the biggest area, you know, and you know, sometimes it's, you know, it's tough, to be honest with you, and we can call it tough, whatever, but we should have been there already. But we got to keep pushing the envelope. You know, when you look at it and you say, okay, Coach, you said it's unacceptable. What are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to do what when I say what we've always done. Hey, our backs right now, and I feel this way, are against the wall. We need to show improvement on our side of the football. Now, we've had moments where we've played really well. That improvement has to be consistency throughout the game. We can't go out and play this quarter or play that quarter or play this half or play that. We got to be consistent for 60 minutes. And that's what it takes to win when you're in SEC competition. There's no question about that. There's other areas that we can grow, but right now I'm more worried about being consistent with the things that we do.
All right. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thank you.